Hello, Sagittarius. Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using the Gilded Tarot by, hopefully you can see that, Cyril Marchetti, companion book by Barbara Moore. I don't remember the correct way to say Cyril, but if there's another way to say it, I just don't know it off the top of my head. Website is llewellyn.com. Feel free to check that out if you'd like to. Supportive Oracle Cards, Magical Spell Cards by Lucy Cavendish. Illustrated by Jesse Reish. There's a website down there, hayhouse.com. Feel free to freeze frame and check that out if you would like to. Of course. What do we have for Sagittarius? I like what we have here. More information needed. Okay. At some point along the road here, no, I feel like this isn't new. I don't feel like this is new to you. More information needed. Whatever this subject is, I feel like it started out that way, where I had to learn something. It's almost like, I almost feel like it's bookwork. Like I either had to read something, take some type of test. I know that that's subjective based on what you're doing, but there was some like additional learning. For some of you, maybe it was a certain skill you had to learn or something. There was some type of part of this. As soon as you got involved with it, you're like, I don't know how to do that. So at the very least, you had to go online and try to search out how to do it or something about that. I don't see, in the beginning, I don't think it caused an issue. It just needed to be done, and I feel like you just did it. I don't see it like, I don't feel like I had to like worry about it. It's just kind of like, oh, I need to know how to do that. And I just, whatever the next step was, I feel like I just did it, and I just like, well, I got to do it. So that's just how it is. Whatever this situation is, it's constantly, I feel like the situation is like that. Do you know that that's what it's like? I don't feel like you overthink it. This is ironic how this is coming in. I do what I need to do, I take the information I need, and I just move on. I don't seem to think about it. I don't feel like I'm expecting to constantly have to keep doing this. I keep thinking I don't expect to. But yet, this might be at least the second time, at the very least. It's coming up right now. I feel like what they're telling you is that this is how this situation runs. Every time you learn something more, every time you do more research, every time you upgrade your skills, the situation gets better. Okay, that doesn't seem so bad. I don't think this reading's going to be bad. But I feel like you know what you're doing, but it's kind of like not realizing that you're going to have to keep... Some of you might look at it like, no, I know I do. I know I have to keep learning. I know I have to keep going. But if you're in that boat, I feel like they're saying, no, you got to go a little farther than you are going. Like it's like add a little addition to this, because that'll give you the advantage to soar above the rest. Not in a conceited way, but kind of like so I can manage what I need to manage and just keep moving. Just so I can form this in a way that's more conducive to my own life. There's more learning needed. I keep getting it. More learning, more learning, more learning. The situation calls for constant learning. The thing is, it's like applying what you know as you learn it. It's like if say it was a book of knowledge you had to learn. If say today you read 3 pages of that book, you also get to apply that knowledge as you keep moving forward. Tomorrow you read another couple pages, you keep applying that knowledge. It's not like I have to read the whole book and then apply the knowledge. I feel like as you're reading the book, as you find new things out, you're immediately applying it. As soon as you find something out, like, oh, nope, that's not right, we need to do this differently, or, oh, that might have worked before, but this would work better, let's do it this way. There's a lot of speed. Where is all, there's like, I mean, I know you're a fire sign, but I'm getting a lot of like I don't know if I have a minute to breathe with this situation either. So it's kind of like, the thought of like adding more learning on does seem like it's a bit cumbersome, but I feel like if you just don't let yourself overthink it, and just go into the next, you'll be fine. It's good. this falling out upside down, the Sun card is good either way. This is one of the few cards, no matter how it falls out, it's usually good. Other people have an issue with you. But again, the more you're ahead on the learning curve, the less they can do about that. What can we get more about the people who have an issue with you? Like, can we get more about that? Because, like, it's not like this happens to everybody. I know that, but still, these are people who can't do what you can do. These are people who are fighting the system and they don't want to put in the actual time. You keep moving forward, you get a lot done, but you keep adding more information in. And I feel like you should have, like, I don't know, I feel like if you see it, you're like, that'll work, add it in. If you just keep doing it, you'll be fine. People want you to fail because they feel like if they prove that you can't do it, if they prove that you can't do it, then they feel like then they don't have to do it. That's not going to really work. Like, that's not reality for this situation, but I feel like that's a warped, really? Yeah, they feel like if you fail, then that'll validate them not being able to do it or literally just not doing it. It's not even like they can't do it, they just don't want to. But the more you succeed, the more it highlights what they're not doing that they should be doing. So if there's people who have an issue with you, do not go out of your way for anything for them, is what I'm getting. Let it be. I wouldn't even give it lip service if I was you, if you can avoid it. Let them deal with their own stuff. That's not an energy that anybody should be trying to please, because they just want you to do worse, so it validates them not doing very much. No good. Not worth it. Letting it go. Other people will deal with that. Let other people deal with that. Even if you're the manager, let other people deal with that. I feel like that's something that you don't actually have to handle, that because you have actual productive things to do. That tomfoolery, no. 10 of Cups with the health. See, no. Let other people handle that part. If you know that that's going on around you, try not to deal with it. Try to stay away from it unless you absolutely have literally no choice. Of course, if you literally have no choice, then you literally have no choice. Otherwise, I would let other people handle that, because I feel like that's going to be a self-cleaning situation, whatever that means. Because I feel like other people are going to have an issue with that. And I feel like there's other people, even if you're a manager, I see other people, like maybe other managers, kind of like pointing something out or like dealing with it in a different way. Kind of like, we don't want the Sagittarius to slow down and deal with that buffoonery. So if you're all right with that, Sagittarius, we'll deal with it. And you can keep on going because you're doing that really well. So let us deal with this buffoonery and you just keep going. I don't know if that's normal, but I feel like that's coming forward with that. Whatever the situation is, people need it to go better. And people find a lot of stress in this situation because there's people who are not doing what they're supposed to be. You are picking up the slack for a lot of people who just don't want to do what they're supposed to be doing. And you keep getting more knowledge. That's another reason people are like, Sag, you keep going, you keep doing what you're doing, we'll take care of the buffoonery, and then we'll do what we have to do. People are getting stressed around this situation, but you're literally one of the people who are making this work out correctly. So people want you to be able to do what you need to do without having to deal with that. There's a lot of stress in the situation itself. I think you're okay, though. I don't know. I feel like other people are dealing with the buffoonery. I just want to keep referring to it as the buffoonery. So there you go. Because there's stress, but there's success with this stress. The 10 of Wands to me is a lot of stress, heavy stress, but success at the same time. I don't think there's anything being dropped in this card. No. Very interesting. Because I feel like people want to go into the next level. And you're going to be one of the people that help it get there because you're learning the new information. And people will learn it from you through example, maybe. So I almost feel like people do that too. They learn by watching you. And I feel like people want to work with you. And I don't think it's like a secret that they learn how to do things better by watching how you do it. I'm not saying you do it perfect every time, but you keep moving, you get a lot done. if something doesn't go quite right, somebody else catches it. Maybe they let you know, but they're also like, if you weren't doing it the way you were doing it, we never would have known anyway. So I don't think anybody's like watching you like, oh, here goes Sagittarius again. It's not like that. It's kind of like, okay, Sagittarius did that. Well, that didn't work out. Well, let me see if I can fix that. Okay, I see how to fix that. I'm just going to further that information onto the Sagittarius in a positive way. I don't feel like this is a situation that's expected to go perfectly. Hopefully you don't have that bar set like that for you. There should be mistakes, because I don't think there's any critical mistakes that you're making. But there's mistakes that, everybody gets to learn from, kind of like, oh, we thought that would work too, but Sagittarius did it and it didn't quite work. But I would have done that the same way, so let's see how it should work. So no, I don't see anybody like pointing the finger. It's just that you're the first one that got to it. I feel like that's kind of why. You're the first one to get to it, that's why. So I wouldn't let it hold you down. People really do care about you. There's a lot more learning to go on with this. People do really watch you in a positive way. People are learning from you. Again, I keep feeling like you're the first one to get to it that way or something like that. So I don't really see anybody holding it against you when there's an error. It's like, well, this is life. There's going to be errors. Sagittarius was just the first one to come across it, so that's why that error happened with them. I would have done it the same way. I keep getting that. And I feel like there's positive energy around you, like saying that. But you might have a high, hopefully you don't have the bar set too high for yourself where you're like, I don't want to ever make mistakes, because that's not reality. But just realize that the support is around you for this. More information coming in, learning as you go. I feel like this is also something that triggers you to learn more stuff. Kind of like, well, that didn't go right, so let me see what else I can learn about this, so next time it does go right. I feel like there's a cooperative effort here. Other people want to learn with you, so other people are trying to help you find ways to learn it too. Other people might be researching, like, who knows this stuff, what books are good, what type of classes can we take, where can we learn the information, where can we apply the information. I feel like the bottom line I'm getting from this is, don't get sucked into the buffoonery. That's for one. Just keep going with doing what you're doing. Don't get sucked into that. Especially if those buffoonery people are like pointing out every little tiny detail that wasn't quite perfect, or you're going to make errors. I just don't feel like you should hold it against yourself. But these people want you to slow down so they can validate not doing as much. That's no. I know that that's the sun card, but it's upside down, and I just keep thinking of buffoonery. Buffoonery. Don't slow down. Keep doing what you're doing. I don't see any critical mistakes here. I just feel learning mistakes going on here. There's a lot of people around you who are leaning on you to learn from you as well. Again, it's just you're the first one to get to that spot. So that's why you're the first one to make that mistake that people are noticing. I wouldn't let it hold you down. You're very well valued, and just keep going, keep learning. The more you learn, the further you get ahead, the better you're going to do. I feel like a lot of it's just not getting sucked into the buffoonery. Like, I hope I explained that well, because like people in their chatter, let other people deal with that. Realize that you have support. People really do care about you. People really do want you to succeed. The right people feel that when you succeed, they succeed. When you make an error, they learn as well. So they're not holding it against you. Keep that in mind. At least the right ones aren't. So let's keep that in mind. Are we there? All right. I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below. Same email. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.